Shabbat Shalom. It's good to be back together. Welcome back, cantoral soloist Susan Glickman, adding guitar and voice, and hopefully your voices as well. It is Shabbat Bereshit, the Shabbat of creation, as we begin our Torah all over again. And as I said Wednesday night here, we've been making a lot of circles, circle of the new year, circle of Torah with Simchat Torah. And tonight we start all over again, the Shabbat. It's hard to believe that we were here a year ago. This was the Shabbat immediately after October 7th. And we find ourselves again in this place of seeming darkness and where it might be harder to find light, and creation beckons us again. We are going to be adding a few songs, melodies that focus on creation, focus on a new song, and as always, we hope you'll join with us, and hopefully you've also seen the beauty of creation here in New England this week as we are lingering on to fall. It might even seem a little spring-like, and just beautiful colors around us. It is an honor to invite Talia and Mike Reese to bless our Shabbat candles this evening. We're on pages 2 and 3.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu l'hadlikner shel Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu
Shabbat Shalom. And we will continue with the Psalms. The Psalms celebrate creation. Psalm 96, Shiru Ladonai Shir Chadash, sing unto God a new song. You can find the full Hebrew on page 13, or this Hebrew English version in the back of our prayer books, page 344. 344.
Favorite song by Julie Silver. Native of this area. I think she even taught Hebrew school here many years ago. That's a fact that I can give you.
read together in the English the rest of this psalm on page 14. Let the heavens rejoice and the earth exult. Let the sea and all within it thunder. The fields and everything in them exult. Then shall all the trees of the forest shout for joy as the presence of Adonai, for God is coming. For God is coming to rule the earth. God will rule the world justly and its peoples in faithfulness. We join on page 20 with Lecha Dodi as we welcome the Shabbat bride. We'll join in verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. And on that last verse, if you're able, we'll rise, face the doors to bring Shabbat in.
One I think I know you know. Yada lai lai lai, yada lai lai lai, yada lai, yada lai, yada lai, yada lai lai, yada lai lai lai, lai lai lai, yada lai lai lai, yada lai lai lai, yada lai, yada lai, yada lai, yada lai lai, yada lai lai. Yada lai, yada lai, yada lai, Shabbat, Mekabela. Lecha Dodi Likat Kalai, yada lai, yada lai, yada lai, Shabbat, Mekabela. Shalomor Nezachor, Yatikor Echad, Adonai echad u'shmo echad, Hashem u'tiferet v'eretzilah. Lecha Dodi likat kalai, yada lai, yada lai, yada lai, Shabbat mekabela. Lecha Dodi likat kalai, yada lai, yada lai, yada lai, Shabbat mekabela. Yikach habachu v'nachal, ki makor haberacha, v'yirosh mikedem lesimcha, זאת תעשה במחשבת תחילה. Lecha Dodi likat kalai, yada lai, yada lai, yada lai, Shabbat mekabela. Lecha Dodi likat kalai, yada lai, yada lai, yada lai, Shabbat mekabela. Uri, uri,
turn to page 26. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba ve'alma divrach u'teviam lichmachutei b'chayechon u'vyom echon u'v'chayedecho beit Yisrael ba'gala uvizman kariv vayimaru.
Amen.
Yahei shmei Rabba mevorach le'olam le'ol me'omaya yitbarach yitbarach ve'yishtabach ve'yitpa'ar v'yitromam ve'yitnaseh ve'yitadar ve'yitaleh ve'yitalal shemei dekudesha brichu laila min kol birchata ve'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma ve'imaru. Amen. Our call to prayers on page 28. For creation on page 30, you are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light. We'll pick up on those lines, roll into dark, roll into light, night becomes day, day turns to night, and we're also 9 lines down in the Hebrew.
Roll into dark, roll into light, night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light, night becomes day, day turns to night. Oreim v'layla, dolei l'or mipnei choshech, dolei l'or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or. Roll into dark, roll into light, night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light, night becomes day, day turns. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'ma'ariv Aravi.
Let's read together on the top of page 33. As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vayed. Please be seated. We'll continue with these words from Torah on page 36. Ve'ahavta et
Adonai Elohecha
bechol
bechol
לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו
הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם
בשבתך
בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ושוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Adonai
Elohechem.
Emet. And let's read together. Thus you shall remember to observe all my commandments and to be holy to your God. I am Adonai your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai your God. We'll continue with our song of freedom, our song of the sea, Micha Mocha, page 40.
Who is like you, Adonai? Who is like you, Adonai?
were sitting there thinking this was a new melody, Rabbi Batya has taught us this melody before, I promise. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל. We'll continue on page 42 with Hashkivenu. Our sukkah is still up outside for a little longer, and we again invoke this image of God's Sukkot Shalom, God's shelter of peace spread over us.
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leShalom, v'habitenu shomreinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leShalom, v'habitenu shomreinu lechaim. Ushmor tzidkenu, lechaim u'shalom, v'ata v'Adonai. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leShalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leShalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim.
Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. We continue to celebrate the Shabbat day. On page 44, we are reminded in our creation story, 4 in 6 days Adonai made heaven and earth, and on the 7th day God ceased from work and was refreshed. Our Torah portion reminds us of our first Shabbat.
Vishamru b'nei Israel et HaShabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם. והביאו בית בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וירפש, שבת וירפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם. ושמרו Bnei Yisrael et HaShabbat לעשות את השבת כתורתם ברית העולם.
We continue now with our tefillah. I invite you to rise in body or in spirit. And I'll just note with the changing of our holidays, the changing of our seasons, we now add in our Amidah the prayer for the blessing for rain and wind as it marks the start of the rainy season in Israel. Adonai sefatai tiftachu fi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'Konei Hakol, Zocher Chasdei Avot ve'Imahot, Umevi Geola Livnei V'neihem, Laman Shemo Be'ahava, Malach Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, ve'Ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh hakol, Atah Rav le'Hoshia, Mashiv haruach u'morid hagashem, Mechakel chayim bechesed, Mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verofech olim, Umatir asurim, Kayem amunato, Lishenei afar, Michamocha bagevurot, Umidom melach, Melach memit umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah lehachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, Ukdoshim b'chol yom yehalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Continue silently with the prayers on the pages, or take a moment to offer the prayers from our hearts, and feel free to be seated when you are ready. come back together for a prayer for peace on page 60.
Shalom Yisrael Amcha Tasih Leolam. Shalom Yisrael Amcha Tasih Leolam. Ki atah melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki atah melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Yitov beinecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
Blessed are you, Adonai, who blesses your people and all people with peace. Amen. We turn now to our prayer for health and healing on page 253. And we offer our Misha Berach, this blessing for healing to these members of our temple community and loved ones who are ill. Colin Monroe, Enrico Mascaro, Benjamin Horowitz, Mateo Goldman, Essia Rushovskaya, Eileen Arnone, Jean Sands, Tom Fiorino, Amy Fiorino, Jerry Spingarn, Beth Gottlieb, Joseph Sands, Ethel Sharanow, Rhea Rebecca, Sarah Batavid Yosefia, Rosalind Slifka, Shayna Mannheimer, Dorothy Lewis, Linda Wilson, Squirt, Ray Burton, Ian Wellens, Mark Passman, Yehonatan, son of Shoshana and Abraham, Stephen Pastor, Rachel Bednarsh, Ruth Botmalka, Jacqueline, daughter of Dolores, Leslie Wasserman, Aaron Wasserman, Maureen Morgan, Grace Epstein, Griffin, son of Beverly, Jeff Kublin, son of Ida, Robbie Kaufman, son of Miriam, Howie Kaufman, son of Miriam, and Carrie Post. If there are other names that you are thinking of, you may share them with us.
Bless the
we add this prayer for those who are still held captive in Gaza, that our prayer that they may see light soon. May the one who blessed our ancestors bless, protect, and guard those missing in action or held captive. We, the members of this holy congregation, pray on their behalf. May the Holy One have compassion on them and bring them out from darkness and the shadow of death. May God break their bonds, deliver them from distress, and bring them swiftly back to their family's embrace. We say together, Amen.
Amen.
I apologize. I still have what I call high holy day voice. It must be just too much singing and talking all at once. Perhaps this Shabbat, this weekend, I will get it back. How often do you read a book more than once? Even a book that you really loved. Twice? Maybe 3 times? Why? Why read it again? For pleasure? To learn something? To remember why you loved the story? Or to possibly discover a new interpretation that would help in your life? This week, we start the Torah all over again. How many times is this for you? The answer probably depends on your age and Jewish experience. This Shabbat, we start at the beginning, not at the beginning, but in the beginning, Bereshit. Bereshit bara Elohim. In the beginning, God created. Rabbi Sheila Peltz-Weinberg asks, why? Why do we go back to the beginning? She says, I'm fascinated by the question. Clearly, this year has not been like anything we remember. Even now, however, we are still going back to the same old book. There must be something to learn, she says, to enjoy, to ponder, to practice, to probe. Rabbi Peltz is right. Here we find ourselves doing what Jews have always done. We return to the beginning, to our roots, to continue to seek meaning, even when meaning seems clouded. We learn in the beginning of Genesis that God created human beings in God's image, B'Tselem Elohim, and placed us here to be God's partners, to tend and care for all of God's creatures. And when human beings mess up, when we make a mess of God's creation, which we always seem to find ways to do, our ancient stories remind us of second chances. In Bereshit, there is not one, but 2 creation stories, and probably even more than that. Let there be light was not just a single proclamation. It is God's reminder that we must always create and seek light. Genesis is much more than chronology. It is a reminder that each generation must keep creating. As we recite in our daily morning blessing for creation, Yotzer Or, Uv Tuvo Mechadesh Bechol Yom Tamid Ma'aseh Bereshit. In your goodness, you daily renew creation. Like God, with each new day, with each new breath, we can create and start anew. Especially this year, we cannot possibly look at the Torah with the same eyes. Too much has changed. Too much has been lost. A poem that was published in late December in Haaretz newspaper in Israel immediately went viral. Written by Elchanan Nir, a young poet and rabbi, his poem calls for a new Torah, a new Zionism, and a new story. In the poem, he references other sacred texts and Israeli authors and the desperate need to renew them all. His poem is called Now We Need a New Torah. Achshav anachnu tzrichim Torah chadasha. He writes, now, like air to breathe, we need a new Torah. Now, gasping for air and with choking throats, we need a new Mishnah and a new Gemara and a new Kabbalah, new mystical ascents. And inside all the brokenness and the salt and ruin, now a new Hasidism and a new Zionism, a new Rav Kook and a new Brenner, a new Leah Goldberg and a new rabbinic response, a new art and new poetry and new literature and new cinema and new old words and new ancient souls from the treasure of souls, and a new love out of the terrible weeping, for we have all been washed away in the rivers of Re'im and Be'eri, and we have no mountain within us, and there are no other tablets, and we have no Moses and no strength, and now everything is in our hands. In other words, this poem reminds us that creation is in our hands. We return to this new Torah. We return to Bereshit to look more closely at our lives, our habits, our relationships, our questions today. We return to the beginning to see how swiftly things change and to realize how the beginning will soon no longer be the beginning. But we need not worry much. We will find ourselves here again. Rabbi Peltz Weinberg offers this prayer. As we enter each moment in the life we have been given, with all the challenges and delights flowing through us and around us and connecting us to all that is, was, and will be, may we know the great solace, joy, and opportunity of beginning again. And to her words, I add these words from our tradition. May Torah be and always be a tree of life to all who hold fast to it, and that its ways are ways of pleasantness, and all its paths are peace. Shabbat Shalom. On this Shabbat of creation, we begin this new Jewish year ahead of us. You can continue to celebrate Shabbat in the morning at 9 a.m. with our lay-led minyan. We are actually on a fall bar and bat mitzvah pause for a week before we start up again in November with 3 more b'nai mitzvah in November. And we are back with Shorashim this Sunday. I am offering a Taste of Torah class at 10 a.m. for all adults to come study Bereshit, study a little Torah, get to know one another. We'll have some coffee. Our Interfaith Walk for Hunger is at 2 o'clock this Sunday. You can register online or you can just come and be part of it. 2 o'clock we'll convene with some opening blessings. I'll be very honored to be joined by other clergy in town and those who are able to do I'm looking at Connie, 3-mile walk. Can walk. You also don't have to walk. 3.2, thank you for the correction. You can also walk part of it. You can donate online. You can bring food donations. So all the information is in your email. This is a really great community building event. And I'll just add to this, in addition to the mitzvah of feeding hungry people, which we all know is much needed here, especially in our times, to see our interfaith communities come together this Sunday is really a blessing. We will have many different faiths present here on Temple grounds this Sunday. Weather looks beautiful. Please come out and join us. And please read your weekly shofar email for everything else coming up in the weeks ahead. And we'll be back here for Shabbat at 6:30 next Friday evening. And sure, I'm forgetting a lot, but I think it's all in there. So thank you to our ushers and greeters, Lisa Altman, David Boehm, Tim, thank you for live streaming. And I'm sure we need more volunteers to keep Shabbat going. So volunteer online. And we have a light oneg to follow our service as well. So we can, again, thank you, cantoral soloist Susan Glickman. And we'll rise now as we move into Aleinu on page 282.
Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, latei gedula leotzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoyoi haratzot, velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו echad.
And we remain standing and turn to page 291 in the words of the poet Chanas Sanesh. There are stars up above, so far away we only see their light, long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways we remember. We are especially remembering Will Krasnow, husband of Marcia Krasnow, past president of our Temple community, who passed away in recent weeks. And we remember these loved ones whose yahrzeit, whose anniversary of death occurred this week. Charles Albion, Abraham Bloom, Peggy Bordeaux, Aline Doctoroff, Rose Doctoroff, Cynthia Fiorino, Michael Freeman, Mordechai Glazer, Esther Goldberg, Francis John, Diane Kantrowitz, Ralph Kolodny, Maurice Mincham, James Plummer, Albert Reich. If there are other loved ones that you are remembering, you may share any other names with our community. And we turn now to page 294 for Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yikadash shemei rabbah, be'alma divra chirute v'yamlich malchute, b'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael, b'gala v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevorach leolam ulamei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudsha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be a blessing. You can keep your finger on that page as we also turn back now for the blessing of Kiddush on page 5. And just a word of gratitude for coming out tonight to make up our minyan, whether you were seeking comfort, some rest, some joy. Again, good to be together.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom tehila lemikra kodesh zecher litziat Mitzrayim ki banu vaharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'abim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat. Amen.
Wow. Man of Shabbat this week because there's no bar bar mitzvah. Please join me and we'll bring this out for everyone. Baruch atah Adonai
Eloheinu melech
haolam hamotzi lachem min haaretz.
Shalom. Oh, who says shalom bimrama? Ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Ya'aseh shalom, Ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, Ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, Ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom.